Alright, y'all. So this is the part 2 of this worksheet. I want to apologize right now for not being as efficient with it as I could when I recorded the first time. We will get better at that where these videos aren't as long. Yeah. Alright, so what we're going to be looking at here is the same sort of thing. We're going to be writing the standard form of the equation, exactly like we were before. But this time, instead of given a radius like we were in the previous problems, we're given an area, okay? So if you think back with what you know about area, and we've done problems like this before, we're going to have to use our area to find our radius. Okay? So we know the formula for radius, the formula for area is pi r squared, right? So we're going to set that equal to my area, which is 36 pi. We're going to set it equal to 36 pi. Okay? First things we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by pi. Okay, so we do that. Divide by pi. Divide by pi. Remember the goal, we're just solving for r here, so we're trying to get r by itself. Cancel, cancel. So now we're left with r squared equals 36. Okay, take the square root of both sides. We get r equals 6. Okay, so now with our radius and our center, we have to go one step further. We can't just stop here. That's a problem we run into sometimes. We just want to stop early. With our radius and our center, we can plug it into this x minus h plus y minus k equals r squared. Okay? So it's going to be x minus, what's my h? What's my x coordinate? It's 7. Plus y minus, my k coordinate is 3, because that's the y. Equals r squared, r is 6, so equals 6 squared. And then we write that as x minus 7 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 36. Okay? Does that make sense, hopefully? So we did the exact same thing as we did the previous two, except we had to solve for our radius out for our area. Okay? Do the same thing for this one. So my area, just like before, is going to be equal to pi r squared. So I'm just going to go and set that equal to pi r squared. Okay. And divide both sides by pi. I'm solving for r here. So then we have r squared equals 9. Okay. If you're creative, you can see r squared is in our equation, so you can just use that. If not, we square root both sides. R is 3. The radius is 3. Okay. From here, we're just going to plug in the formula that x minus h plus y minus k equals r squared. So we have x minus my h term is negative 13. That's the x coordinate of my center. Plus y minus k. My k term is negative 15. Squared, of course. Equals r squared equals 3 squared. Okay. You do this, x minus negative 13 becomes x plus 13 squared plus y plus 15. So y plus 15 right there. 3 squared equals 9. And so really this is hopefully kind of okay. All you're doing is you're just solving for area and plugging in the center, okay? What I want you to do now is I want you to pause the video, okay, and work it out on your own. And then when you're done and play it, I'm going to go and just show the answers. I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to do my work for the answers. All right, so here are the answers all filled out. It's this bottom line here. So I guess I could have circled that, but... So the answer is here and here. Okay. One thing I want to point out is when you do this number 10 and you solve for r here, you get the radius is radical 3, or the square root of 3 right here. And then when we plug it into the equation, the square root of 3 squared becomes just back to our 3. And so it's x minus 15 squared plus y plus 15 squared equals 3. All right, moving on to the back. So the back is doing the same thing, okay? Except for all you have to do is you have to go in and find the radius, the center and the radius on your own, okay? So looking at this first circle, what I'm going to do, let me straighten it up for you, sorry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find the center. The way I'm going to find the center is I'm going to go to the middle of the 2 points on the end, in the middle of these 2 points. You see how those are the 4 outmost points? So the middle between this -2 and this 2, come to right here. The middle between the 2 and the -2 also come to right here. So that made sure 2 ways that I found the middle. All right? So my center, or my middle, is 0, 0. Okay? Then I'm going to find my radius. The way I find my radius is just count. Okay, so I'm going to count from here, 1, 2. So I just went from my center and went to the edge. 1, 2. You can also do this edge. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay? If you wanted to get crazy, you could find this point right here and do the distance formula, but we'll get to that later. Alright, so my radius, I counted, is 2. So then I'm just going to plug in my equation. Once again, I'll write it up here at the top so we have it. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay? From here, what we're going to do, excuse me, is just plug it in. X minus my x coordinate, or my h, is 0, of my center right there, squared plus y minus k, my k is 0, my k is 0, squared equals r squared equals 2 squared. Okay, so x minus 0 can just be simplified as x squared plus y minus 0 can just be simplified as y squared equals 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. And that's my answer. Okay? Hopefully that's simple enough. If you got it, go on ahead. You can skip ahead. If not, we're going to do another one together. So, find the outermost parts of the circle. So that's like here, and here, here, and here. Okay? So from here, I'm just going to find my center. So halfway between this 0 and this -6, this could be my -3 right here. You can count it in, you can subtract, and you can find the midpoint formula, use the midpoint formula to find it, whatever works, okay? I'm going to check, it's the same over here. So my center is going to be -3, 1, 2, 3, 1. -3, 1. Then my radius, I'm going to count from -3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So my radius is going to be 3. Alright? From here, just going to plug it in this equation up here. Alright? So x minus my h is a -3 squared plus y minus my k is a 1 squared equals my radius squared. My radius is 3 squared. So x plus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 9. And that's our answer. Alright, I want you to try the next two on your own. Okay, once again, just find the center, find the radius, go from there, and I will check back with the answers in a second. Alright, y'all, so this is the next set of answers. Here's 13 and 14. Don't really have anything to point out of them, so check your work, and then we will move on. So, next thing we have is a problem where it gives us a center and the circumference. Center and circumference, okay? These are exactly like the area ones we were doing earlier, except for instead of having our area formula, we're going to have our circumference formula, okay? So we know our circumference formula is c equals 2 pi r. If you don't know it, it's okay. You can look it up in your formula sheet. It'll be on your formula sheet. but hopefully once we work it enough, we'll just know it, okay? So c equals 2 pi r. So I'm going to set that equal to 18 pi. Okay, I'm going to solve for r. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2 pi. Okay, divide by 2 pi. When I do this, my pi's cancel. The 2's over here cancel, and these pi cancels. Okay, so r is going to be equal to 18 over 2, which is going to be equal to 9. Y'all see that? R equals 18 over 2. That equals 9. Alright, so from there, it's as simple as just plugging into the formula. Okay? So we have our x minus our h is 8 here. Right? X minus 8 plus y, let me sneak that parentheses in, minus negative 5, because that's okay, squared, equals r squared. We see our r is 9. Okay, simplify that. X minus 8 squared plus y plus 5 squared equals 81. There's our answer. Going to do the same thing for this next one. Alright. Circumference is going to be equal to our 2 pi r that we have over here. C equals 2 pi r. So I'm just going to go and set it equal 2 pi r. Okay. Solving for r, once again, we're going to divide both sides by 2 pi. Divided by 2 pi. Divided by 2 pi. Alright. The pi's cancel. The 2's cancel. The other pi's cancel. Now we have 14 over 2. So r is going to be equal to 14 over 2, which equals 7. So our radius is 7. Okay. From here, we plug in our formula. X minus our h is 6. 6 squared plus y minus k. Our k is negative 12. Squared equals r squared. R is 7. Simplify. X minus 6 squared plus y plus 12 squared equals 49. Cool. That's our answer, okay? I'm going to give you all time to do the next two on your own. Once again, just find the radius, use the radius, and plug it in. Alright, there are your answers. Yeah, from here, we're going to go on to these next problems. For these next problems, we have to go back and look at our notes a little bit. So we have a center and a point on the circle, right? We have a center and the point on the circle. So we already have our center. Now what we have to do is we have to find our radius, okay? Just like every other problem, find your center, find our radius, okay? So thinking back to our notes, all right? We drew this circle up here. It's a little zoomed in, but it's okay. We can zoom out a little bit. All right, so we have this circle right here. What we want to do is we have our center, then we have a point on the circle, right? That's what it gives us. It gives us our center and a point on the circle. So what we have to do is we have to find out what that radius is. So we're going to have to find the distance from the point on the edge to our center. Okay, and once we find that distance using the distance formula, that will give us our radius. And then once we have our radius, then we're hunky-dory. We can just go on and solve the problem. All right. So, let me zoom back in a little bit for y'all. I know my handwriting is perfect to read anyways, but you know, anything we can do to help out, we should. So, we have our center, and we have a point on the circle, okay? So all we're going to do here is we're going to plug these 2 points into our distance formula, okay? So once again, our distance formula is, and that's going to give us our radius, okay? So r equals the square root. It's going to be a big old square root. x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, that's our distance formula. So when we plug that in, r equals the square root of x2. It doesn't matter which one we do. I'm going to keep my center as x1, so I'm going to use the point on the circle as my x2. Okay, so use that as my x2. So it's going to be negative 18 minus negative 14. There's my x1. It's negative 14 squared plus y2 is once again my point on the circle. It's going to be negative 5 minus my center is a negative 4 squared. Okay, simplifying this out, negative 18 minus a negative 14, so negative 18 plus 14 becomes negative 18 plus 14 becomes negative 4 squared. If you're plugging this in your calculator, you got to make sure you put these parentheses around this this negative 4 here. Negative 4 squared plus negative 5 minus the negative 4. So negative 5 plus 4 is going to be negative 1, parentheses squared. All right. That's going to be, r is going to be equal to the square root of 16. Negative 4 times negative 4 is 16 plus 1. Okay. You know that little dash right there? Should be 1 there. And that's going to equal square root of 17. So my radius is the square root of 17. Okay. All we do here is then we're going to take that radius and take our center that we had from before, and we're going to plug it in to our standard form of the equation. All right. So we're going to start up here. X minus negative 14. So that's my x coordinate. It's going to be my h squared plus y minus negative 4. Negative 4 squared equals square root of 17 squared. I'm bleeding over the other problem a little bit, but we'll be all right. So then we just simplify. I'm going to come down here to simplify. So minus negative 14 because plus 14. So x plus 14 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals radical 17 squared. It's just going to be 17. And that is our answer. Got my handy red pen. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing for this one. So first thing we have to do is we have to do the distance formula. Okay, so the distance formula as we see over here is my radius is going to be equal to x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, so r is equal to big square root x2. I'm going to have that x2 be the point on the circle. So be 10 minus x1, which is my center, 11 squared plus my y2 is my point on my circle, which is going to be 4. 4 minus my center is 11 squared. Simplifying that, we're going to have r is equal to the square root of negative 1 squared plus negative 7 squared. Once again, watch out for your parentheses. So r is equal to, excuse me y'all, r is equal to square root of 1 plus 49, which is going to be the square root of 50. Alright, so my radius is the square root of 50. And we're going to go in and plug that in to my equation. So we x minus 11 squared. I don't know why we put an equal sign there. Excuse me, that should be a plus. Plus y, my center is still 11, so y minus 11 squared equals r squared. My radius is 50, and so when I square that, it's just going to be the square root of 50. My radius is the square root of 50, so when I square a square root, it's just going to stay at the 50. So that's the answer, okay? Because square root of 50 squared is 50. And so that's just going to get plugged in right there. And then that's my answer. All right, just like before, we're going to pause and give y'all time to work this out on your own. So go ahead and pause the video. See if you can do number 21 and 22 on your own. Yeah. If not, then go back and rewatch it, and good luck. All right, those are the final two answers. Hopefully you feel pretty good about this right now. If not, it's okay. We're going to do a little bit of practicing. But yeah, that's where we're at right now, and let me know what questions you have. Thank you for watching.